Buccaneers, 11-5, going on the road to take on the NFC East Division champions, the Washington football team. This is the game that I am most excited to watch out of all of the playoff matchups being played this wild card weekend. The Buccaneers beat the Atlanta Falcons last week 44-27. Washington defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 20-14, which was a really controversial game when you look at what Doug Peterson opted to do. He opted to take out Jalen Hurts and put in a third-string quarterback. And a lot of people felt like Philadelphia and Doug Peterson were trying to throw the game on purpose so they could try to get a high draft pick. So for Washington, they're now in the playoffs. And don't sleep on Washington. Okay, I think that there are a lot of people out there who aren't giving Washington enough credit. Like, a lot of people are just saying, well, JT, Washington isn't a great football team. Like, they won the NFC East, which has to be one of the worst divisions in the NFL that we've seen in a very long time, which is true. But Washington matches up really well with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is why I'm so excited to see this matchup, because Washington is able to get pressure on the quarterback. And what is the blueprint to beating Tom Brady? Getting in his face, forcing him to get the ball out faster, getting him down on the ground, making him uncomfortable in the pocket. That has always been the blueprint to stopping Tom Brady. He's not that great under pressure. With him getting older and older, he's going to continue to get paranoid under pressure. You saw what happened the last time Tom Brady faced a good pass rush. Go back and look at that Rams game. Tom Brady was under the rest, even though I think that he only got sacked one time. The Rams were still getting in Tom Brady's face. He also had a couple of interceptions thrown in that game as well. For Tampa Bay, if they cannot run the football, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because for Tampa Bay, even though they may be the better team in this game because of how good they are defensively and how good they are offensively, they have the tendency to get overly reliant on Tom Brady and just abandon the run game altogether. So if Tampa Bay abandons the run game and they have to rely on Tom Brady to throw the ball 40, 50 times to win the game, I don't really think this is going to be a game that favors Tampa Bay if the game doesn't go in a direction with them being able to be balanced. Because Washington, with these pass rushers, man, and you look at Tampa Bay's offensive line, I know Tampa Bay is top 5 in the NFL and giving up the least amount of sacks, but I think that's only because, first of all, you haven't really played a defense with the elite defensive line for the whole entire month of December. Second of all, you get the ball out really fast as well. So this is probably the best defensive line that you played since, I don't remember. I think Kansas City probably. So when you look at Washington's defensive line, you look at Chase Young, you look at Montez Sweat, you look at Jonathan Allen, you look at the guys that they have in that defensive line, they can all get pressure on the quarterback. And when you look at Tampa Bay's offensive line, don't just go back to that Rams game. Remember what happened in that Thursday night loss to the Chicago Bears where Khalil Mack was terrorizing the offensive line of Tampa Bay? That's what I have to go back and remember. So for all of you guys out there who are thinking that this game is going to be one-sided, that this game is going to be a blowout, I don't really know. I think that this game could go Washington's favor if Tampa Bay isn't able to have a balanced attack on offense with Ronald Jones. Now, for Tampa Bay, the good thing is the chances of that happening are pretty low because Washington has allowed 137 rushing yards over their last 3 games on average. So for Washington, even though your defensive line is really good against the pass, your defense total hasn't really been that good stopping the run over the last 3 spans of games. Washington's offense, another thing, can they even muster 20 points? Because when you watch Washington play with Alex Smith at quarterback, this offense struggles to score 20 points. Now, yes, we know that Alex Smith, without a question, is an upgrade from Dwayne Haskins and things like that. But at the end of the day, this offense still struggles to score 20. And for Washington to win this game, I don't care how great their defense performs, you're at least going to have to be able to find a way to muster 20 points. Now, you're all fully healthy. You got Antonio Gibson. You got Terry McLaurin. You got all your playmakers now. So there really should be no excuse why you should struggle offensively. Here's the big question. is Washington going to be able to throw the football downfield? Because Washington is 31st in the NFL in yards per play. They average 4.8 yards per play. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is only allowing 5.1 yards per play on the defense side of the football, which is 6th in the NFL in yards per play allowed. So you look at a defense that doesn't allow big plays, and you look at Washington, a pretty conservative offense. I want to see if Alex Smith in Washington and the offensive coordinator for Washington is going to put a little bit more emphasis on trying to get the run game going and then try to establish the play action passing game and try to take some shots downfield, because you got to keep Tampa Bay's defense honest. If I'm Tampa Bay, I'm going to force Alex Smith to beat me throwing the football downfield. I'm not going to allow Alex Smith to beat Alex Smith and just throw checkdowns all game, because with Washington, you look at Antonio Gibson, you look at guys like J.D. McKissick, if you give these guys a short checkdown, they're going to take it, they're going to turn like a 2-yard pass into like a 5-6 yard pickup. So if you're Tampa Bay, you have to take away the short underneath routes and force Washington and Alex Smith to push the football downfield. I'd rather Washington beat me throwing the football down the field vertically than allow Washington to just be methodical and Alex Smith just to throw a check down here, throw a check down there, just to get everything he wants underneath. And for Washington, I think that you're going to have no choice but to take shots deep, because these linebackers for Tampa Bay and Levante David and Devin White, they are incredibly fast and they are really good. So they're going to be able to close in on those quick short passes really fast. So for Washington, getting the ball downfield to Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, your tight end, is going to be really big if Washington wants to have a chance of pulling off the upset. Now, Washington scoring 20 points in this game, I think that is a must. I would be really surprised if Washington was able to win this game scoring less than 20 points. Now, Ron Rivera, if you ask Ron Rivera, hey, Ron, what is the game plan? What do you want? How do you want this game to go? Well, Ron Rivera is going to tell you, I want this game to go into the fourth quarter, and I want to rely on my defense to win it for me. If you're Washington, you want to go into the fourth quarter with at least a 3-point lead in a situation that you have to rely on your defense to win the game for you, because I don't think any Washington fan wants to have their offense on the field with the opportunity to win the game. You rather have your defense on the field with the opportunity to win the game for you rather than your offense. So for Ron Rivera, I think that he doesn't mind this game being close. I think that Ron Rivera does know that his offense is fairly limited in terms of what they're able to do and how many points they're going to be able to put on the field. And he knows that points are going to be a premium for Washington in this game, but it's also going to be a premium for Tampa Bay as well, because Tampa Bay's offense, I'm not expecting them just to come on here and just light Washington's defense on fire with how good Washington's defense has played all year and how good Washington's defensive line is. So for Washington, your game plan is get this game into a full quarter, allow this game to be close in the fourth quarter with the last 5 minutes left, and you want your defense on the field for an opportunity to win the game for you. I think that's how Ron Rivera wants to go, because Ron Rivera is a defensive-minded guy, so it only makes sense that he would want his defense on the field to win the game for you. Now, the Buccaneers have the best run defense in the NFL. They are allowing 80 yards per game on the ground, which is number one in the NFL. They're also number one in the NFL in yards given up per rush, allowing 3.6. So for Washington, you're going to have to be able to win on early downs. You're going to have to be able to consistently win on first and second down. Now, the run game may not be all that effective for you. So you're going to have to find ways to pick up 4 to 5 yards consistently on first down and second down so you can get into third down and manageable situations, because Washington's third down offense isn't that great. So for Washington, you're going to have to be able to make sure that you're able to pick up 4 or 5 yards consistently on first down, putting yourself in 2nd and 4, second and 3 situations, making it easier for your offense to convert on third down against a really good and outstanding Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. So the team I'm going to take to win this game, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game. I think they win this game 23 to 14 is my final score prediction in this game. I think Washington's defense is going to be able to hang around and keep Washington in this game. Same thing that I said about the LA Rams and their prediction against the Seattle Seahawks. But at the end of the day, I just don't think Alex Smith and company are going to be able to score enough points needed to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is the same thing that I said about the LA Rams, because their offense may struggle with the backup quarterback that they have in John Wolford. And I see the similar thing happening with Washington. Washington has struggled to score 20 points all year, so I don't think they're going to be able to put up a lot of points on a really good and outstanding Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. So I like the Washington football team a lot. I like the story of Alex Smith coming back from not only just a life-threatening leg injury, but also potentially a career-ending leg injury. Not a lot of people expected Alex Smith to be the starting quarterback in the NFL ever again, and nobody expected to see Ron Rivera after all that he had to overcome with cancer and everything. Nobody even expected Washington to even make it to the playoffs before the season began. So for Washington, this is a big accomplishment. I'm a big fan of what Ron Rivera is doing with the Washington football team. I'm a big fan of Alex Smith, but I just don't trust Washington's offense. Unless their defense are able to put some points on the board for them, I don't really see Washington winning this game. I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win.